The following is a presentation of Muddy River News.
Your financial needs aren't independent of each other, so your financial advisors shouldn't be either. At Mercantile Bank, our experienced United Wealth professionals are united to serve you and your complete financial planning and wealth management needs. Are you just starting your investment journey or need to roll over a retirement plan? Do you need to plan for a loved one with special needs or for your own life after work? Maybe your business needs a succession plan or you want to enhance your employee benefit programs. Whatever steps you need to take, our United Wealth experts are ready to take them with you. Together, we are united.
Hi, this is Ron Kincher with Muddy River News. Welcome to the Business Spotlight, brought to you by Mercantile Bank. We have Justin Felsman from Limitless Medical.
Yes.
All right, and chiropractor.
Yes, sir.
So what made you become a chiropractor? Was there something in your early life? Did you have a great history with a chiropractor?
Yeah, so my history is a little bit different.
Okay.
I actually started off in pre-physical therapy. That's kind of my ultimate goal, was to be a physical therapist. And long story short was basically working for a few different companies, and ended up God called me back to saying that I wanted to really help people, and that's my goal is to help people just get better, feel better, and just be healthier, the healthiest version of themselves.
A lot of people who get into your industry, whether it's PT or a doctor, had something happen as I don't want to say a child necessarily, but when they're playing sports and stuff like that, they had a great experience with a health provider. Was that something that was an influence on you?
That really wasn't so much.
Oh, really? Okay.
It was God closing doors to open others more than anything, to get into it, and just knowing that I've always had a calling for helping people just be healthy. Was really into exercising and lifting and playing basketball, but my story with a journey with chiropractic is I was a skeptic myself.
Oh, really? Okay.
I was a doubting Thomas. In fact, when I was in college, one of my good friends actually wanted to become a chiropractor, and I tried talking him out of it.
Okay.
And telling him that, you should go into physical therapy. Chiropractor is really, I had a lot of misinformation, didn't really understand what chiropractic is and what it does and how it can help people back then. And so I went to, actually my first experience that I went to with a chiropractor was years later. I did bodybuilding for a while, and I went to see a chiropractor because a friend recommended, hey, it helped him with his bodybuilding career. And my experience was actually really poor. And my journey is a long road of of being a skeptic, being like chiropractic really doesn't do much. So that's when I went to chiropractic school. It's interesting because I understand how most people perceive chiropractors, and that kind of gives me some insight of the skepticism that most people come before they come in the door. And so that kind of almost helps me to explain why. That's why I explain what it is in a very brief, with a skeleton, showing people exactly what it is and how it works.
So what do you think the biggest misconception is? I mean, you live that, so.
Biggest misconception is that it's about an alignment, or it's about straightening of something, and that it's about crack or pop. And that is, when I think of an alignment, I think of a car alignment, right? You're straightening a stud in a wall, you're straightening the alignment or the frame of the car.
Right.
That's what I think of an alignment. And chiropractic is not that actually at all. Because if it were, and this is an argument I'd have with any chiropractor that states that it is about alignment or straightening of something, I would say, okay, then I want you to take an x-ray, I want you to adjust somebody, and then I want you to x-ray them post. And show me that they're now straighter. It doesn't work that way. Our bodies aren't basically, we're not a stud in a wall, we're not basically a frame on a car. We're meant to move. And that's kind of why my background in physical therapy gave me this insight into, it's actually more about mobility. That's what the adjustment actually does. It's very simple, as we restore restriction. The much better analogy that I would love chiropractors to adopt would be more like giving the Tin Man oil. So the Tin Man is stiff, right? Why is the Tin Man stiff? Well, because he's not moving properly, right? And his joints are rusting out. That's osteoarthritis, essentially, in my analogy. And so my job is to restore mobility to the joint, get those muscles to fire better, get that nervous system to fire better. Things don't break down so fast, and that way you have a healthier lifestyle long term.
And you mentioned some chiropractors refer to it as cracking and the alignment. Are there different types of chiropractic practices? I mean, are there specialties within the MD world? Are there specialties within the chiropractic world?
There is, as far as like pediatrics, some will specialize more,
Okay.
and they want to basically take care of peds. There's more of like a sports chiropractic to where they'll deal more with teams, things like that. But generally, we go through the same coursework on on adjusting things like that.
Okay. Rescue versus corrective.
Okay, yeah. So rescue, I would say, is more of that you're just trying to get somebody out of that pain phase.
Okay.
So just for example, today I had somebody that was in severe, immense pain. We took some pictures, we took some x-rays of them, and it was obvious why they were in the amount of pain that they were. And so my goal today for the next few weeks is just to get them out of that pain phase. But what I like to do in my office is more corrective care and more of basically continuing to get that body to get better and better and better over time, move better, feel better, teaching people exercises, doing a lot of physical therapy modalities like electrical stim and heat and things like that.
So there is a cross between, you wanted to be a physical therapist and what you do now. There is somewhat of a crossover to a degree, or basically a lot of the same goals and treatments, I guess.
100%.
Okay.
Yeah, we follow we should be following a similar pattern. I tell people that chiropractors should be, and I air quotes should be, really great with spines and rehabbing spines. Physical therapists should be really great with shoulders, knees, ankles, things like that. Whereas when you, air quotes again, hire me as your chiropractor, you get the best of both worlds. I can rehab a shoulder very well. I love knees. Knees are so easy to rehab. The spine obviously is my bread and butter. I'm really good at doing that. And so that's why, that's just from years of experience and practice and thinking things through myself.
Is there proactive chiropractic versus, you mentioned the reactive where somebody's already been injured,
Right.
but is there a proactive program people can do, or is it?
Yeah, in a perfect world, that would be ideal. Most people, the second thing that I teach people is pain's an unreliable indicator of how healthy you really are.
Oh, really? Okay.
And so I give Patrick Swayze as the example there. So he died of pancreatic cancer really young. From the outside looking in, he looked healthy, right? No signs, no symptoms, and no pain until it was too late. So how we feel and function, they don't always match. So unfortunately, pain's the least important function of the nervous system. It's an important one. It's telling you something wrong. You better fix me. But more of the perfect world, getting back to your question, is proactive would be to exercise. Proactive would be to eat right. Proactive would be to go see your chiropractor on a regular basis before you're in that reactive pain phase. And that's where I think physicians, whether that's medical doctors or chiropractors, get things wrong. Is we want obviously people to feel better, right? But I want you to not only feel better, but I want you to function better, because if you function better, then you're going to be better long term. You're not going to wait till you're in your 60s, 70s, 80s, and then you're looking at going underneath the knife. You're getting hooked on these heavy opioids. You're living a much better lifestyle because you ate right, you moved right, you thought right, you got regular chiropractic care. You know what I mean saying?
Right. Yeah.
So that's
a question I had though. If pain is the least, you mentioned pain is the least
important function of the nervous system.
Right. So what is the most important function? I mean, how would I know if I'm not experiencing pain? How do I know if something goofy's going on? Or is that?
Well, that's where that goes back to right where your question was. Is that proactive part?
Okay.
Is let's do the healthy things, the foundational things, so that way you don't have to be reactive.
Okay.
Right? So pain's an important one. Like when you're in a 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10 pain scale, it's pretty important to you to get out of pain, right? And nobody wants to be in that. But my thing is, let's be proactive. Let's stay away from that. And so that can be doing x-rays. That could be going to see the chiropractor regularly. That could be seeing a dietitian if you're looking at more of like having to maintain a healthy weight. It could be going to see a personal trainer. So that's more of the proactive approach. So that way you don't have pain. I can give several other examples. The most important one, or probably another one that could be equally as more important than the Patrick Swayze example, is do you know the first example, or what the first symptom rather of heart disease is?
Let me guess. Shortness of breath.
Sudden death.
Okay.
You have a heart attack, you hit the floor, you do not come back.
Okay.
So that heart disease was going on for a long time.
Right.
And that's the same thing with like x-rays. Like the young lady that I mentioned earlier, is we took x-rays of her. Her x-rays were not good, unfortunately. And so, but she said, according to when I did the consult in the morning, yesterday morning, was, she said she'd only been in pain for 3 weeks. Well, that problem, though, those X-rays,
Right.
that's something that's been shown me for a long time. I can give you one of my kidneys. That's 50% loss of function of my kidney. It's actually 60% before I would show any signs of basically kidney disease or kidney
Right.
symptoms. 80% of liver before I saw signs of cirrhosis. So our bodies are incredible. They're amazing things. So we need to, if we tune into them and we listen to them, unfortunately, we're really bad at tuning in
Yeah.
and listening to our bodies.
But I think the lesson we're hearing, though, is diet, exercise, just do the things you're supposed to be doing. And then even the smallest little thing that you notice is maybe a little bit off, that should be a warning signal?
That's a warning signal.
Okay.
Fix it, yeah.
Whether it's seeing you or your regular doctor or something along those lines.
Exactly.
Okay.
And just be proactive. You know, I
Yeah.
ate like crap over Christmas. I ate probably more sugar than I have all year. And I felt it
Right.
the next day, right?
Right.
So I'm like, okay, back to eating the way that I need to be eating.
Is it a misconception that you guys have a conflict with medical doctors?
Things have progressed along.
Okay.
It used to be that way. There's, again, a whole history lesson on that I could go over about.
But I guess so the knowledge is growing on each side?
That's changing, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And we have some amazing, awesome medical doctors and nurses here in town. Unfortunately, there's some other really good chiropractors in town too. And we're working more together. Physical therapists, chiropractors. We're all trying. We need to stop having a peeing match and do what's actually best for the patient.
Right.
And that's the problem. You know, look at QMG and it just becomes like this, like, instead of doing what's best for the patient, it's become this, like, who can make more money or who's going to have the better facilities type scenario. And it should never be that. It should always be about the patient and taking care of them and doing what's best for them. So things are working a lot better. There's an education piece.
Right. What do you see the biggest growth area right now in your field? I know you do some stuff with stem cell and platelets and stuff like that. Do you think that's a big area that is expanding for not only you but the whole chiropractic industry?
Yeah, and so that's even more on the medical side. So we took on a nurse practitioner, and it's amazing the results that we're seeing with regenerative medicine. In my opinion, that's the future of medicine. It's basically going to help prevent knee surgeries. It's going to help keep people off opioids and the narcotics. It's the future of medicine because it's going to help to restore and regrow that joint. You're using your body's own natural healing properties to heal itself,
right?
Rather than what was it the other day? Somebody told me they're like, the medical doctor said something wasn't working, and they're just basically their standard of care is let's just go in and rip it out. I'm just like, I don't understand that. Like, this is something that God gave us and has a purpose. So why are we just tearing things out that, like, you know, we got to figure out what the cause is and what's going to help create and restore that functionality to whatever issue that person's having.
To get more information about what you guys do, limitlessmedical.com, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you got it.
All right.
.co. I'm sorry.
.co?
.co.
.co. Well,
Yep.
Google Limitless Medical. They'll find you and your big, beautiful face on the website.
Awesome,
Thanks for
man.
coming in.
Thanks.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Justin Felsman with Limitless Medical. This has been the Business Spotlight, brought to you by Mercantile Bank.
Your financial needs aren't independent of each other, so your financial advisors shouldn't be either. At Mercantile Bank, our experienced United Wealth professionals are united to serve you and your complete financial planning and wealth management needs. Are you just starting your investment journey or need to roll over a retirement plan? Do you need to plan for a loved one with special needs or for your own life after work? Maybe your business needs a succession plan or you want to enhance your employee benefit programs. Whatever steps you need to take, our United Wealth experts are ready to take them with you. Together, we are united.
Muddy River News. Our home, our news.